Welcome to the Emerald Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Doyle, and on this podcast I speak to different Irish athletes about their highs, their lows, biggest battles, biggest successes, and why they fell in love with their sport. In this episode I chat to Wexford's 1996 All-Ireland winner Martin Storey. Martin chats about the skills of the game, hurling with Oulart the Balloch in Wexford, and all things hurling. Next up, Martin Storey.
I'm good, can't give out.
Can't complain.
I go into shorts at the start of end of March and I go out at the end, so I'm in the shorts, in the t-shirt, and that's it now. Whether the weather comes or not, that's me for the 6 months or 7 months of the summer.
Well, prepare for what you think is coming or what you hope is coming anyway.
I don't care. I just stay in the shorts and the t-shirt. That's it. I just do it. I've been doing it for years, and people look at me and go like, "What's wrong with you? Like it's freezing outside and you're in a pair of shorts." And I go, "I know." habits, old habits.
Yeah, no, I tell you. I hope you get the weather that you're looking for anyway, as people would say. Tell me, Martin, are you doing any coaching now or anything? I know you're obviously not hurling anymore. That's gone now. But are you doing a bit of coaching or anything with the club or anything like that?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I've started coaching in '89, and I'm still coaching now. I'm old school coach. I'm old school methods. I loved coaching. I mean, I probably had a lot more success coaching than I did playing. Way more success coaching if I go back through it. Like I started with the under 8s, under 6s. We won under 10s, 12s, 14s, juveniles, minors, under 21s with the club. I was with the senior. I was with the senior camogie. We won 3 county senior titles. I was with Collash the Breed. We won 3 All-Ireland senior colleges titles. We won a junior. We won the national Féile with the lads under 14 in the Premier. You know, like the coaching end of it would have been very good to me in that sense, you know.
Yeah. And how do you find it comparing when you were playing, Martin? How do you find the dynamic of, you know, coaching, managing fellas and trying to get the best out of players and stuff, even underage? Like, how do you find it? Like,
I loved it. Always loved it. I swore when I started coaching that I wouldn't give out to players. There was something I had in my head that I wouldn't shout at them or give out, because I remember when I was playing the odd time, you get some fella absolutely lambasting you with you know how bad you were, and like there's nobody knows on the field better than you how bad or how good you're playing. You don't need the coach or a manager or a selector to tell you what you're doing right or wrong, because you actually know. And I mean, the big job for you as a player is to change the bad things and work more on the good things. And I mean, that's what I try and do as a coach. Like, I'll go to them and I'd say at the start of the year, I'd sit down with the players and I'd say, right, just write down 3 weaknesses that you have and 3 strengths, and stick it up beside the mirror in the bathroom where you brush your teeth every morning, and read it every morning. And after 4 months, the ones on the bad side should be after moving over to the good side, or you are not training properly, or you're not trying to change or fix problems. And like, that was something sort of that Liam Griffin introduced us to that, and I thought it was an absolutely brilliant thing, because every time you brush your teeth morning and night, you see it's stuck there beside the mirror, and you read it, and it'll remind you, geez, right, I'm not strong off my left, I need to work more off my left, or I'm not good in the air, or I'm not good at batting. So you try and fix the little problems, and that's how you improve as a player, like, you know.
Yeah, and I'd say even when they're writing that, Martin, just, you know, from knowing kids, you know, hurling and stuff like that they'd be more inclined or easier write down what they can't do first before they'd even go to the positive, as you say. So not giving out to them is actually, you know, a really good thing, because if you make a mistake or you're not good at something, you nearly go for that or say that more quickly than you do even your positives, you know.
Yeah, but you make them write the positives first. You make sure to write the positives first, because you can't start with a negative. If you're starting with a negative, you're starting on the back foot. And it's all like relative to just encouragement and practice and repetition and repetition. Hurling is a difficult game to master. There's no point in pretending it's not. I think someone said it was 113 skills or something, and it's all it's a huge game to master the skills. So you won't master it fully until you're probably 13 or 14. That's the actual skills. and then to put that into a game plan and build it in and get it going, and you know, it's a different game as well, because the fella you're on could be as good as you. So now he's going to try and stop you, so you still have to figure it out how to do it and implement it, like, you know. So it's not as simple as just having the skills. It's how to implement them into the game when the game is in the melting pot, like, and that's where good players and other players differentiate between the two of them. Like, you know, you'll find a way. Like, that's the answer. You will find a way.
Yeah, and Martin, if you had like top 2 or 3 tips for young hurlers, or what should work on. I know you were focused on your positives of what you do well and your weaknesses for where you can improve on. But is there any like top 2, 3 tips that you think are the benchmark for what you need to kind of, you know, get right or practice to become better?
Absolutely. Repetition every day. You will have to put in, I would say, 40 minutes of ball work every day up until you're 14 or 15 years of age to master. You have to just have everything right. Like, when the ball comes to you in your match, you have one chance. You don't have 2, you don't have 4, you don't have 6. You have one chance to do something with that ball. So you have to be at the stage that you know it's coming and you know what you're going to do with it. So you have to have that skill totally perfected. So that's where the hurling off the wall is. That's where hurling with your friends are every day for an hour. That touch, it's automatic. You're gone. You're turning when you're picking it rather than waiting to pick it. So you're already on the second phase of the movement. That's what I'm talking about to get to that level. That's the repetition that's necessary.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I think even when I watch, I know it's easy to watch the likes of even Limerick and that and Keane Lynch, but I almost feel he's on nearly every breaking ball, but it's like second nature to him. He nearly knows where it's going to break just from, you know, the practice or just the know-how of being in the situations, just to do it and apply it to in the game.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's the interpretation of where this ball is going to break, where you need to be, and what you need to do. And he has the fastest hands and the fastest reaction possibly in Ireland. And that's learned from practice, and more practice. Like, and in my time growing up, I hurled every day for at least 2 hours. My father would come out with us, and he'd hit the ball back to us and back to us in time. I was 5, 6, 7, 8. And the minute I got to 7 and 8 years of age, I used to go up to the pitch in Mount Daniel where the seniors and juniors were training, and you went behind the goal and you hit the ball back every night for an hour back out to the adults. But you were doing it every single day. And then in school, Father Frank Staples used to come up on lunch break and bring us up to the pitch, and you had 2 groups, you had the big boys and the small boys, and girls was mixed. And like, you hurled on your lunch break for 35, 40 minutes, and you couldn't wait to get up to the big group. I remember, I think I was in 3rd class when I made the big group, and you were delighted with yourself. Like, that meant you were getting better. Like, you know, them were the little things that gave you the boost. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just repetition. The skills until you get to 14 or 15. You don't really have to do it after that. You have to go for the game plans, fitness, strength and conditioning, all the modern, all the new stuff. And you have to have that, has to be just second nature to you, the skill level. You have to have that before you get there.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I suppose if you have that, you're at such an advantage compared to the rest, obviously, if you've done that work when you're young as well, Martin. Martin, tell me, talk to me about Oulart, playing with Oulart. I know you've a couple of county medals under your belt, and Oulart had, especially when I was growing up, that reputation for winning county titles, being kind of, you know, so dominant almost. Talk to me a bit about the culture and, I suppose, growing up and playing with Oulart.
Yeah, but like, when I was growing up, it wasn't successful, if you know what I mean. Like, we didn't win our first county title till 94, like, so our first county senior title till 94. So it wasn't, I mean, I played under 12 when I was 7. I won a county under 12 medal in a 7. The next medal I got was a record league medal, and the next medal I got was an under 21 medal. I was 21 years of age. So like, I didn't grow up in a successful club, but you still grew up hurling 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times a week, every week. The hurling was always there. but like you have to be good enough. You have to be good enough to win. Like, so we've started, when we were growing up, they were beaten in finals and semi-finals nearly every year. Like, I remember doing Waterbury in 74, 73 and 74 county finals. I remember getting beaten, like in 89, you were beaten in 82. You were like, I mean, we lost more county titles than we had won up and for a long time. Like, you know, so success wasn't just there. It was there and you had to work. We went and we got an outside manager who brought in Tom Neville, and he changed a bit of the culture in the sense, like, everybody got a job, everybody was responsible, everybody was given. It was sort of the turn into the modern era as such. Like, everybody got a responsibility and your job is on the field. If you didn't do it, then there was a replacement coming. So it was a great turnover. My luck started to change, we say, in 1985. We were automatically regraded in 84 with a dispute with the county board, and we won the intermediate in 85. I was the captain. Nobody really wanted the captaincy of the club because we had to be regraded, and I was only a young lad. I was only 21, and I said I wanted. So we won that. We won the under 21. I was hurling with Wexford in the junior intermediate, now they call it, and we won the Leinster and All-Ireland in that. And I went into the Wexford senior panel then in 85. So that's where my career sort of turned. And then, like, I mean, it was 9 more years hurling with Oulart before we made the breakthrough at senior level. Like, you know, it was 94. So it was a long road with no success, like with either Wexford or Oulart. Like, we're beaten in league finals after league finals after league finals, and Leinster finals after Leinster finals after Leinster finals. So, I mean, it wasn't the fact that you were winning so much that kept you hurling. It was the love of hurling. You just wanted, and you always had it. Every year you'd say, this is the year. Like, you'd say it, we'd be talking, myself and Liam Dunn, myself and Larry Up, that's who you'd be talking. Like, this is the year, we're going to absolutely do it this year. And like, it was just, you were absolutely gutted on the Monday after losing with Oulart or Wexford. So I'll never hurl again, I'm giving it up. But like, if you were after losing with Wexford, come Tuesday evening, you couldn't wait to be up in the pitch in Oulart to be back training. That was the gra for the hurling. Like, that was the pull it had on you. That was the control it had, like, that you could not wait to get back. And the minute you'd lose with Oulart, you couldn't wait for the National League to start back training with Wexford. Because that time you used to play 3 or 4 matches before Christmas, so you started training in the end of September with the county team. So you trained right up to Christmas. Then you had a 2 or 3 week break, and you went into the National League, the second part of the National League with Wexford, and that went out to March maybe, or April. And then there was maybe 2 or 3 rounds of the club championship, and then you went to the inter-county championship. So it was purely constant, like, it was constant all the time, like. And I used to play a bit of hockey. I played a bit of hockey and a bit of soccer as well, like.
Yeah, just kept it. But do you know what, that's great too, that, you know, you say you had the love of hurling, but you had a hurling, it sounds like, all year round as well, where it was going from one to the other. So you had the option there of hurling for Wexford and then straight back to Oulart. And if you were disappointed by the Oulart results, you got to go into a kind of a happy camp then leading into the Wexford Championship or the league then as well. So it was kind of continuous for you, which was great.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was. I enjoyed it. Like, I loved hurling. Like, I mean, you have to love hurling. Like, I hurled until I was 50 years of age. Like, you know what I mean? I played senior till I was 44. Then I played intermediate, and then I went junior, and then I went junior B. And I'd still be playing, only injured me back. If you know what I mean? You either love hurling or you don't love hurling, and it's not for what you win.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, I would have given up for years. Like, I mean, I played senior with the club or adult with the club from the time I was 14 and a half, 15 until I was 50. And I probably have 6 county medals, 7 county medals, a combination of them all. So, I mean, that's not a good return for 35 years. And if you go with Wexford, I was at Wexford for 16 seasons and I won All-Ireland and I have 2 Leinster medals. So that's not a good return. So it's not for what you win, it's for what you can bring to it and get out of it in the sense of enjoyment. It's what you bring to the table as well.
Yeah, unreal, Martin. And just tell me, Martin, as well, because I'm curious. Just you mentioned Wexford there and your time. Obviously, the glory days. There was tough days, as you said, and then it led into, I suppose, better days around when Liam Griffin came in and that as well. What you spoke about Liam Griffin's trick with the positive and negatives, but what else, I suppose, changed to kind of help us bridge the gap, maybe, and get over the line at that time.
I just think we were very, very, very unlucky. I mean, if you go back through all the 90s, the teams that beat us, I think on 7 times went on to win the All-Ireland between Kilkenny and Offaly. We were just in a real tough, and we were getting bet by 3 and 4 points only. And they were winning the All-Ireland and All-Ireland semi-finals by the same. Like, they were winning, Kilkenny won some All-Irelands by 10, 12, 14 points. They were beating us by 5 and 6. Like, we were there, we never got it all right through the whole year. We got it right maybe the first day or the second day, and it didn't, whether we just didn't click together or we weren't organised enough or whatever. But we were always good enough, I felt, and we just never produced it day in, day out. We produced the form sporadically, like we didn't produce it consistently enough. And that's what Liam Griffin brought, was consistency and a plan and a work ethic and your job and everything. He brought a sense of responsibility to it. Like, Liam Griffin is a very, very nice man, but he was ruthless.
Yeah.
Like, people confuse that Liam Griffin was ruthless in the sense of you did what you were told, you discuss it, you could argue with him, there's no bother. That's not what I'm saying, but like, you still, unless you had a better idea than him, you did it his way. That was his game. And like, he was so organised, it was unbelievable. Like, I mean, we matched up 2 weeks before the All-Ireland, and we matched 14 against 15 just to see. We had 15 and we had 14. Like, and all them things. Like, I mean, even the day of the All-Ireland, for some of the photographs, said, look, lads, everybody wear black socks so we won't look different. We look the same. We look united. We look tuned. We looked, like, all the little attention to detail was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think that was the change from, we said, the 10 previous years. And I'm not taking from the other managers, they were brilliant, but just his attention to detail was more.
And do you feel like, Martin, that was almost ahead of its time, just that attention to detail and getting the little extra percentages that on the day that can, kind of count, and as you said, the job's responsibility, so that it's so direct that you have a target or you have a job to do, and I just need to focus on that. So it was kind of, as you just said, just really, really well organised.
Totally and absolutely. It was really business, like, it was really, really well organised. I mean, like, we were slagging myself and Shawnee Flood, like, he was like pre-match meals, like, and I'm not a chicken and pasta person, I never was. And I remember arguing with him. He said, no, that's the pre-match, it's the head. And I said, no. So I said, you were wanting to put us out on the field hungry, then 2 of us, because we don't eat chicken and pasta. So he goes, okay, right, well then we'll accommodate what you want. Like, you know what I mean? But other than that, you were doing everything right. Like, everything was done step by step by step by step. Like, you know what I mean? It was meticulous attention. Honestly, it was. Like, I remember when we lost Damon Scallon, like, and he rotated the forwards following the loose man, so nobody got the job of following them for 40 minutes or 30 minutes. You rotate, so you're on him, you pick them up for 4 minutes, you call the next man. Like, that sort of organisation mid-game, like, is unbelievable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And I'd say you'd even know from coaching now yourself, Martin, in the heat of things happening within a game, to be able to kind of click and put it together that we'll do this, we'll have it done, and this will give everyone a break. While it sounds so simple and so kind of intelligent to do it, thinking of doing that on the spot is very difficult within itself, within a game, and especially in All-Ireland final.
Yeah, but if you look at him, he's a busy man. Look at him talking. Like, he can't give you enough information. Like, so he's always on that. He was always on what can be done better, how can we improve it, what can we do, what's this, what's that. Like, he always was looking for the next little thing. Like, you know what I mean? He just was looking for perfection. Now I think his brother was involved with the English hockey Olympic team. And
Right.
I think he bled his brain dry, I think, as well. Like, I think he sucked every bit of information he could from him as regards, training, game plan, everything. Like he had everything totally and absolutely down to minute detail, like everything.
Yeah. Geez, unbelievable. Well, it just shows that when you're like that the little percentages or the little things that you might say, even the socks and being together and just, the little tactical things that all of them do, build up. And I see that as very, as you say, professional, business like. And I see that in a lot of the, teams now, the way they set up and the way everything's kind of organized. So I definitely think he was ahead of his time with that, definitely, Liam Griffin.
Oh, it definitely was ahead. It definitely was ahead of his time. Even all the pre-match stuff, like he just used the traffic lights as a system. Like he said, the lights are on red until the ball is thrown in, then they go green. But he says from the time you go out on the pitch, it's nearly amber. So you have to be getting your mind ready, and you have to be ready to do your job and thinking about it, but you still can't do it. So there's no point in burning your energy. Yeah. So basically, it was like we had talked about it 3 or 4 times. So like meeting the president, doing the march around the field, not getting excited, not breaking early, just controlling, calm, controlled aggression. Like, you know what I mean? Just be in control of what you control, the controllables. Like, you can't control the referee and you can't control the opposition, you can't control the weather, but you can control everything else. All that stuff is coming back to me there now.
It's still drilled into you all this time.
But like, it's memory. Honestly, like, down to the things he told us you can't control. You control everything else, but you can't control the opposition, the weather, and the referee. You control everything else. So if you control everything else 100%, you will win the game. But if you drop down into the low 90s, then you're coming under pressure. So you had to keep everything that you controlled from 90% up. All them sort of little ideas that he gave us were brilliant, because it made you recheck. If you weren't going well, you were able to check yourself and go, right, there's no point in getting excited here. I need to do something. Like, Kieran Carey was hurling the absolute shite out of me for the first 20 minutes. Like, so I had to change. I had to adapt, and I had to refocus on it. Yeah. And I got a free and I got 2 points in the next, 15 minutes. Got into the game. Held me on. Like, that's what the preparation had done for you to be able to do that yourself. Yeah. Because that's what he had got you to do. Like, that was the big part of it. That was inner belief in yourself that I can do this.
Yeah, and it's so easy, like you said there, Martin, to, like, your man's getting the better of you, lose the head a bit and just say it's not my day, or the rain starts coming down. I hate playing in the rain. Referee makes a bad call, as you say, the uncontrollables thinking, oh no, the ref is not on our side now, that's a bad call, or just all of those things. It's natural things you do within a game. I've definitely done it myself, but you've absolutely no control over it. And as you say, it's the kind of almost a calming effect. It's not going the way I want. I need to refocus, reset, and I'm going to get myself where I need to be. Just, so simple but good.
He was excellent at getting us to do that. Like that you just take 5 big deep breaths and go back to what your job is, what you're supposed to do, what your part in the puckouts is, what your parts in the overlaps are, what your part in the game is. So you go back to the basics, what you're supposed to do. But like, he was able to get you to refocus. Just refocus yourself on the pitch within 5 seconds with 5 big deep breaths. Like, these were all the little tips that we didn't have before. And when things went wrong before, they went catastrophic. Like, they went from wrong to worse. And we fed into it as well, like, because you were frustrated, and then you gave away another free, then you blamed the referee, and like, we didn't do that. And I mean, and here's the living proof of it. I don't care what anyone says. Our backs gave away no free for 43 minutes.
Incredible.
That is history. That is never done before or since. Our six backs gave no free away for 43 minutes.
And that was down to 14 men for a good period of time too, wasn't it?
Gary Kirby, we knew Gary Kirby would beat us with frees.
Yeah.
So the function was give him no frees. Now, I don't know how many he got. Probably 4 or 5, maybe. I'm not sure. A couple of 70s as well. I can't remember exactly. But he got no free from our 6-backs for 43 minutes. Now, that's discipline. That's controlling yourself on the field. And that's following what you were told to do. You know, to a real fair, like, to me, that was exceptional.
Yeah, there's no, I know without looking, Martin, there's no way that's been broken, you know, either. There's not a chance. It's definitely the record anyway, and definitely in an All-Ireland final. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Just, I'd still tell me backs, Jez, if you're giving away a free, make sure it's a good one. I'd still tell the 6 defenders, if you have to, you have to. And make sure he remembers who you are, and make sure it was worth it if you're getting the yellow card.
Yeah, I hate that too, Martin, and I know it's probably not the best to say, but I hate someone just pulling a jersey and giving away a free. It's just, I think it's the most frustrating one you could do.
Yeah. The hand on the back and the pull on the jersey.
Yeah.
Are the two of the basics, or the chop down. Them are my 3 little pet hates, like when I'm coaching. And I talk to the players every day about it. I said, you chase a lad back 50 yards when he's sole on, and then you pull his jersey when you catch up on him.
Yeah.
Don't chase him. Let him off.
Just let him score anyway, because he's going to do it from the free.
Yeah.
Oh. And tell me, Martin, what do you think is the biggest difference between when you were hurling yourself, let's say with Wexford, let's say back 80s, 90s? What do you see a big difference in hurling the way it's played now, or what do you think is the biggest difference? And I suppose a double-barrel question for you too. Would you love to be hurling the way hurling is now, I suppose, with Wexford?
Well, I'd always love to be hurling. That's my answer to that.
Yeah, I knew
would the modern game suit me? I can't answer that. I don't know. But if you were brought up with it, it will. Like in my time, it's possession based now. We'll have to say the game has gone possession based.
Yeah.
Whereas in my time, no, it was man on man based. You go to war based. You who comes out, whichever team dominates the most positions will win the game. Like, you can keep a good player out of the game now by cutting the supply of ball off to him. My time was very, very difficult. It was very difficult because the puck-outs were hit on the good catchers, and the other players went over a bit, so the catchers got space.
Yeah.
There was no huddles. Like, there was no what's the rugby phase? There was no
scrums or
no, what do you call it when it goes into a ruck? There was no rucks.
A ruck, sorry, yeah.
Like, if we would have got it if there was 6 of us in the one position fighting for a ball. Now you're pushing them into rucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, people ask me, do I like it or not? Like, it's different. It's different to my time. Every ball in my time was hit forward. The goalkeeper hit it as far as he could. He never took a short puck out. The cornerback got it, he cleared it. Or he come out with a bit and hand passed it to the wing back or the centre back, and they hit it straight to the full forward line. Like, every ball went forward. There was a lot ground hurling, and there was a lot good bit of overhead striking in my time. That's all gone. It's pure possession based now. Your 2 cornerbacks now have to be your 2 fittest and possibly best ball players on the field. In my time, they were the 2 stoppers. They'd done a job, and by God, they had done a job.
Yeah.
Whereas it's totally different base now.
Yeah. Because you're probably going to take the ball off the keeper now from a puck out if you're a cornerback, and the pressure's on straight away.
Yeah, you look at, we won in All-Ireland with 113, I think it was. So they had to be scored now in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like, but the ball is probably travelling 15 to 20 yards further now, I'd say.
Yeah.
The hurls are a bit better. They're a good lot bigger. Like, I mean, the ones we used in 90s, 80s, and 90s were the same size as the 70s, late 60s. Like, they hadn't gone to the big boss. Like, I have Damien Fitzhenry's hurl from the Leinster final. He gave it to me. And the hurls that the lads are using here now, my children, or they're not children, they're adults now, are using now. The boss is bigger than Damien's goalkeeper hurl. Like, that's how much the thing has changed. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was a lot more physical in my time.
Yeah.
In the sense of a dropping ball, the backs were allowed to pull their living best from behind. If you got it, you got it. You had to take it. If you got it in the back of the head or whatever the hell, that was it. And there was no freeze for it. It's different. It's different in that sense. The body hits are probably bigger now because the players are bigger. There's more muscle. When they hit now, it's a lot bigger hits. But there was a lot more let go in our time. Like if there's a clash of a hurl now, it's nearly a free. The referee nearly automatically blows. I mean, you don't see broken hurls now. And I mean, I would remember John O'Connor, Tomas Dunn, Liam Dunn, Willie O'Connor, Eddie O'Connor. They could break up to 3 hurls in a match, like.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of timber.
And they could be across you. Like lads said to me, is it the one thing I miss is the matchups. Who's going to mark DJ? Who's going to mark Shefflin? Who's going to mark, Joe Cooney? Who's going to mark this lad? Who's going to mark Brian Whelan? Who's like that? That's gone now because that's not the way the game is played anymore. I miss that little bit of a matchup thing. You look how Limerick are able to isolate their players in the full forward line. It's amazing, like.
Yeah.
And I can't understand how the opposition in the half back line volley out their forwards. I just can't understand how they do it. It happened to Cork in the league final again, like, and they left 40 yards in front of Gillan. Like, to me, I can't understand that. Like that, as a player yourself, everybody come back. Everybody bring out your half forward and bring your midfield back. Bring your half and crowd it.
Yeah.
Make them shoot from 90 yards. But you dictate the game plan a bit.
Yeah, and do you know who definitely, the Cork cornerback will definitely agree with you on that, because the last thing you want is 40 yards of space for Aaron Gillan or someone to run into, because they're so good as well. It's going to be so easy for him. It looks easy at times.
But it is easy. Any good forward, if the ball is in front of him and he's in front of his man, sure, how can the back behind you get the ball? How can he? He either fouls you or let you get the ball. He made you get the ball, you're going to try and take him on. Now he has to foul you. So he'll either foul you first or second, or you get your score. I just feel that, like, we're a lot more robotic now. We were allowed to hurl a bit off the cuff ourselves. I think now you have to follow the game plan. Whereas we were allowed your own bit of intuition, and if you felt you had the legs on the player, you took him on, whether you were supposed to or not, but you weren't given out for doing it, or you weren't told that that's not the game plan. Like, we were given a little bit more freedom in our time, definitely. A lot more, possibly. Everything is very, very game plan orientated now. And I don't know if I'd like that. Now, you asked me, the original question was, would I like that? I don't know. Like, like, to me, like, if a ball breaks on the opposite wing and I see it, I'm gone.
Yeah.
But that's for somebody else now. Whereas I don't know if I'd like to be held to just, there's 5 balls there that I could have went, but I'm not supposed to because it's not mine, even though I probably could have got it. I would find it hard to hold myself back. Yeah. But that's 90s thinking. That's 80s and 90s thinking. That's not 2020s thinking, if you know what I mean. So if I was hurling now, you'd probably be the same as everybody else because that's the way you were brought up with.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it for you, Martin, because maybe you're a bit too modest to say it, but with the better hurl, the lighter ball or whatever as well, I definitely think you get an extra few scores anyway if you're playing now. I think that's for certain the way things are going. John Milan actually and Liam Sheedy had a great point there. I actually really liked it. John Milan said that he'd love to see that they couldn't retreat, the full forward line for puck outs even, right? Couldn't retreat. They'd have to stay in their position, so at least the puck out wouldn't have the ruck situation. And then Liam Sheedy said he'd get rid of, I don't know, going back to the keeper. And I just thought it would force the play a lot more forward just to cut out the kind of the back ball, because there's no real need for it either. It's a get out of jail card, you know, kind of more than anything.
Yeah, but it's to keep possession. It's to keep possession. But if you go over the last 5 years, how many vital interceptions has there been for goals and points? I'd say it's in the hundreds in championship games. Like,
and it takes away from it.
Yeah, like, and we still do it. Like, in our time, if you made a mistake like that, you were. She's like, if cornerback gave a ball back to the keeper in the 80s or 90s, he'd be taken off. That's the way it was. But look, it is what it's like. Maybe if you have to poke the ball out past the 70 or out past the 50 or something, the goalkeeper. Now it'll be more attack based. Like, you go to the football, like the 2-pointer has improved the football a good bit. Now, I'm not talking about a 2-pointer in hurling. I'm not talking about that. And the fact that players have to stay up the field a bit, it has helped it. I'm just wondering in hurling, there's very, very, very little wrong with hurling, so there's no need to dabble with it at all. Possibly that you have to hit the puck out past the 50 or the 70 be my thing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always weary too, Martin, of changing too many things and, ruining the game. But I think if there's one or two little small changes you can make that improve the game, I think you should go for it. But overall, it should be left alone. You know what I mean? It should be left just to play and enjoy it,
I have a little pet hate. My little pet hate is the ruck.
I know the ruck is hard.
You have 10 lads in the ruck and they're in there for 40 seconds and the referee blows the whistle and he throws it back into the ruck and they do a second ruck. That's my little pet here, is the second ruck as well as the first ruck. If the referee is doing it, there's 2 players and nobody can be within 30 yards of them.
Yeah.
And then it's not a second ruck developing.
Yeah. To be fair to the refs, the only thing is very hard to get, because everyone's obviously so pumped up and they're obviously going to parade around it. It's very hard to get them back away from it.
But not with the new rule now. The minute there's dissent now, the ball is a 21-yard free. The new rules they brought in. That would stop that very, 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 very quick. If you give away 2 21-yard frees from being too close to the throw in, it'll be talked about and it'll be part, don't do it, and it'll work very, very quick. They're telling you have to be 10 yards away from the sideline balls, but there's nobody 10 yards away when they're taking the short ones.
Yeah, no.
They're either going to enforce the rules or don't,
Yeah. And you know the way some people would say as well, if you stop it and bring it back, you're ruining the flow of the game. But if you blow it enough, people, they'll get the hang of it where they say we have to do this now that it's going to be enforced. But you're obviously going to take the chance if the whistle's not blowing for it. Of course,
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I don't think there's very little wrong. I just think there's very, very little wrong with the game. So I wouldn't like interfering with hurling at all. Just keep it hurling and keep the players at it. There's such a demand on their time now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything we can do to help is a big thing. And we don't want to go too far away from what hurling was either. You know what I mean? No. It was nearly, basically, when it started out, was nearly a combat sport. If you know what I mean? It was basically about will and one. When we weren't allowed to fight at the time, we fought nearly among ourselves, on the hurling place, if you know what I mean? And it was brought in as a combat sport nearly.
Yeah. Well, I'm teaching here, obviously, in the UAE, Martin, and I showed the class just a little clip or a video of hurling, and their faces were, you play that? And they were nearly saying, out of fear for your life, I can't believe you're playing that, as if it was it's such a, dangerous game, but the excitement on their faces even looking at it, and I sometimes we forget how, how great it actually is. And, for anyone new to it is just loves it. You know what I mean?
But sure, it is such a skillful game. It's unbelievable how skillful it is. And I'd hate to see the high catch going out of it, the ground hurling went out of it, the overhead strike went out of it. I'd hate to see I'd hate to see the high catch and first phase possession going out of it, because we're playing a possession base from the back out. You take it, the overhead strike was one of the most skillful things along the 60s and 70s. It went out sort of a bit in the 80s and 90s. Ground hurling was huge in the 80s and 90s. It's completely gone now. Yeah. You don't want to keep diluting the game as what it was. If you can, keep it competitive, keep it nearly dangerous. With helmets now and everything, and face guards and everything, you're a lot safer than you were in my time. I lost all my teeth. I had to get my nose done 5 or 6 times. All them things, but they were part and parcel of the game. That was the way it was. That every finger broke on my 2 hands, but that's part and parcel of it. That's the way it was. You wouldn't change it. But let's not change it too much and take too much out of it and make it too safe either. There's nothing wrong with a bit of a bust up in a match. It gets everyone, it gets the crowd, it gets blood flowing, it gets everything going.
Everyone loves it, and you shake hands afterwards. We want it that bad, and that's it, and you move on with it, and that's the end of it. Martin, tell me, I have to ask you about, obviously Wexford are out in the championship this weekend. How do you feel, I suppose, we might do this year? Or how is it looking, or what do you think?
I'm a lot happier this year. I just think we had a good enough league campaign. I'm happy enough with it. I'm not giving out about it. It's great. We just need to make small little progresses. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a must to beat Kildare, absolutely, up in Kildare. That's a must. That's an absolute must. After that, we know how to hurl against Kilkenny. We know how to hurl against Galway. We know how to hurl against Dublin. They probably have a bit of a better track record than us in the last 7 or 8 years. So we need to focus on that. But we need to make sure to beat Kildare first.
Yeah.
And then the road will start, and we'll get the interest, and we'll work on from there. Like, I mean, Wexford Kilkenny is a toss of a coin at this stage. It's one of the best games of the year. Like. But we need to make sure, like, nobody's given us chance of getting to a Leinster final. Why not? We're good enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go back to 95. Meath beat us in the league in Belfield and Enniscorthy. We got spit on walking off the pitch. Rightly so. We let Meath beat us. We went up the following year and we played Meath in the league, and we beat them by 38 points. We're taking about 8 of us off.
Payback, just to make sure.
We wanted payback.
Yeah.
We did as players, because we never felt comfortable after that beating. Like, and it was a wake-up call. But who would ever have thought that we would have won the All-Ireland the following year? After Meath beating you in the league and Belfield and Enniscorthy? Nobody. So it's not about where you are, it's about what you do the next time. And how you learn, and how you change, and how you go again, and how you just focus and get back at it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, Martin, we build up the other teams. I don't know whether it's a thing that every county does, but I think in Wexford sometimes we build up other teams a bit too much, you know, as if they're the kind of the finished product as well. And, you know, there's times where we've done that and we've come up and we've bet Galway, we went to bet Kilkenny, you know, and we've kind of we've built them up like they're world beaters. And then again, when we get things right, and, you know, on the day, we're just as good as them. You know what I mean?
But if you look at our track record against Kilkenny in the last 5 or 6 years, it's probably as good as anyone in Ireland. Yeah. And Kilkenny go to an All-Ireland semi-final or final nearly every year.
Yeah.
So that shows where we are. It's about getting consistency, and it's about getting the performances out of the players at the right time, and everybody doing their job on the field. Like, and I just think it's coming nicely. I mean, like, it's gone very, very difficult to win. Like, but to get to a Leinster final this year would be a bonus. Would be brilliant. It would be an achievement, because that's what we need. There's new younger players coming in and everything else, and we just need it to keep consistent. Is what we need. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel, Martin, sometimes when you've new players coming in, that doesn't mean that things are going to be worse or we're not going to do as well. There's lads getting an opportunity to go out and express themselves. They're new, they're hungry to go out and show that, you know, I'm able for this. This is my standard, and I'm going to, you know, deliver when the big day comes. And, you know, some people would say about we've great players that maybe have retired in the last, you know, year or two as well. But here's a chance for others to say, now, I'm here now. This is my time, and I'm going to go out and do it.
But who knows what potential any player has until he's out there. Like, I was never picked to play minor for Wexford. I played under 21. I played under 21 when I was 17. I didn't make the championship team afterwards, but I played against Westmeath when I was 70. I wasn't even brought in for a minor trial. So who knows? Who knows what way it goes? That's life. Until you get out there, you never know what any player will do or achieve when he gets this high-level coaching and high-level training and high-level everything. Sure, he could just blossom, like. So everybody deserves the chance at it. So you can't judge a young fella until he gets his opportunity, like, you know?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing, especially because I know the league's a little bit different, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the lads in championship as well, and just seeing them, you know, express themselves and show, you know, what they can do. As well, Martin, in terms of people, I suppose, expressing themselves or having an impression on you, who would you say, Martin, is the best hurler that you ever played with? Is there any hurler or hurlers that kind of always stick in your mind?
Player would I'd have to go for my own club man, it'd be Liam Dunn. I sat beside him. I sat beside him for 26 years between club and county.
Wow.
And there was not a man that I knew would go to war like him.
Yeah.
Full stop. Like Liam Dunn to win a game, I don't know what he'd be capable of doing, and I won't exaggerate or elaborate on that. But I'll tell you what, he does give it down. And every day before we ever went out, he'd just catch you, tap you on the leg and say, well, Storey, are you ready to go to effing war? And that's what it was. Every match we played was a battle. And it was a battle to be won. Like, and that's why I'd put him down as pound for pound the best player I played with.
Yeah. And even what you said there, Martin, just like leadership, like you automatically, I'd say, felt, oh, having this guy beside me, that's ready to do anything for the team to help us get over the line. Like that's some help knowing that kind of players around you too.
Absolutely. Like I sat and there was John O'Connor and Liam, and the two of them used to go snow white before they went out in the field. Like I was a talker in the dressing room, and not loud talker, but I would talk a little bit to the younger lads and stuff, where Liam just focused, John O'Connor, but the two of them used to the colour used to drain out, and I used to think, geez, there's someone going to be hit hard out there today. Like, that's what you felt like,
They were nervous thinking about what they were going to do on the pitch because they needed to come out with a victory here today.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is good. But look, do you know what? I'd take that over someone wearing their heart on their sleeve and giving everything, and being kind of quiet, reserved, but, showing it out on the pitch. I'd take that any day over anything else,
Well, you have to, like lads had often asked me, were you afraid on the pitch? I was never afraid of being hit. I got loads and loads of belts. The fear I had was not hurling well enough.
Yeah.
Like that was my fear. Did you do enough for the team? Like, and when you didn't, it haunted you for a few days. It haunted you if you didn't play well enough. Like that was a physical fear wasn't there, but there was a mental fear of not doing your job well enough. And the older you got, the more you put yourself probably under pressure to deliver, like.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? I think sometimes people will say it, I know I've heard it in boxing and different sports as well, that they nearly say a fear of not thinking that you will do well enough sometimes is nearly better going into your match or whatever like that, nearly having that little bit of fear. Am I going to, do well enough today, or, I need to make sure I'm doing well enough, they actually say it's nearly a good thing to have. It means, you really want it. Yeah,
and it means you're focused.
Yeah.
It means you're focused to do your job, and you go back to what you're good at. Like that's the thing about being mentally prepared. And I found the mental side of it was better than the physical side of it. Like if you weren't physically prepared, you shouldn't be out there. Full stop. Like there's no gimme on that. Like if you cannot worry, you're going out to hurl at Wexford in the championship, and you can't actually say, "Am I fit enough?" Jesus Christ! Like to me, that like them are the gimmies. All the things. Have I the right boots? Have my hurls good enough? They're all the gimmies. It's the mental side, right? If I don't get any of the first three balls, like don't let it affect you. Like don't let it get you down. Don't do something stupid. Like so you stay in the moment and you focus on what your job is and stay in the moment all the time rather than thinking about I have to score 3 points. No, I have to score 1 point. No, I have to get the ball. I can't score a point until I get the ball. So you can't be ahead of what you're doing. So your job is to win the ball. Then if there's an opening for a score, is it an opening for a solo, is it an opening for a layoff? What's the opening? What's the best decision with the ball? So you can't get ahead of yourself. Saying that's what happens maybe with a new team. The occasion could get to you unless you're mentally right, like
Yeah.
It's the big side of it now.
And like, it's grand saying that, like, you're, be, as some people say, you need to be confident or be confident. But sure, you could say that to yourself, but that's no good. Like, the mental side is big. You have to, as you say, being organised and preparing yourself beforehand and doing all that is the main thing to get yourself, ready. The whole, be right isn't good enough. You have to do the little things that'll make the difference for you,
Absolutely, absolutely. And like, I mean, like, it's amazing, like, but you go over and over it and over it in your head, like, so you're ready to do what you do, like, like, you don't have to think if the ball comes on your right side what you're doing or on your left side. It's automatic because you have done it thousands of times, like, and it's just redoing it, and it's the confidence to keep repeating that. And it often happens that a young player will start bad and his confidence goes. So you have to be confident without being cocky, but there's a very narrow line there. Yeah. Like, you have to hurl with a swagger. Like, you have to have a bit of a swagger about you. But you can't cross the boundary of cockiness with that swagger.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Rory O'Connor, he hurls with a swagger.
Yeah.
He's cocky.
Yeah.
The swagger, he does it. Galan, he does it. Like, that's the thing. It's doing it. Like, my father had a great saying when I started hurling. I come home and he said something about the match, and he says, when other people talk about you hurling, that's not yourself talking about hurling, then you're getting there. And I thought it was a great bit of advice. I think I was 20 or 21 with the county under 21s, and I thought it was a great bit of advice. He said, when other people are talking about you, then you must be doing all right. But if you're talking about yourself, you're under pressure. Yeah. I thought it was a great saying.
But from talking to lads as well, Martin, and like, there's obviously no need for names, but 9 times out of 10, if there's a lad going and telling you how good he is, and he, I'm great off the right and left hand side, 9 times out of 10, he's actually not that great. But if you hear loads of people talking about a hurler and saying, oh, gee, he's unbelievable, he scored 1-2 the other day and you should have seen the strike from the sideline, automatically then he's good. But the lad who talks about himself, as you say, 9 times out of 10 is not great. You know what I mean?
Well, no, he's looking for something.
Yeah, he's looking for something.
He's looking for something because he's not getting it done. Someone else is not getting it done, so he's giving it himself.
Tell me I'm good, will you? Tell me.
Yeah, but like, I was very lucky, right? I was very lucky that I was the youngest of 9 children, right? My father was very into hurling. My mother used to come and sit in the car and knit when the match was on, and someone would go at half time and tell her to score. She never saw me hurling from the time I was under 14. She wouldn't go. But, like, I was married and I had children. So, I mean, the night before the Leinster final, we hurled, the under-10s hurled the final of the Shamrocks tournament. I was over that team. So you were bringing 33 chaps into Burgamack and Enniscorthy for a meal afterwards at 8:30 at night. So lads would say, what was your preparation like? So it was brilliant. It was an under-10 match from 6 o'clock. Didn't get home till 10:30. Packed my bag, got a couple of phone calls and drank a can of beer and went to bed. Got up the next morning, got the kids ready. We went to 8 o'clock mass. We come home, we cooked a big fry, and you had to be in Gorey for, was it 9:15 or something? So, like, you hadn't time to, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do? What am I going to do today? You hadn't time, which was a great thing. Which to me was a great thing, because everything was normal, everything was natural, everything was, you were following a schedule.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of players now, Martin, who would love that kind of approach, rather than getting all the mini details so they can nearly overanalyze in their mind, that they'd like just be so busy with different things to do, normal life, and then just like get in the car, go to the game and play. I'm not saying it for everybody, but I think a lot of people now, just with the way it's going, would actually love that approach.
Well, there's an awful lot of overloading, I think, on stuff now. Like, you're going in 4 or 5 nights a week and you're meeting the statistician and he's giving you 40 stats. Then you're meeting the strength and conditioning and he tell you, well, I don't think your upper body is strong enough, or this is that. Like, and there's someone telling you stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have your own stuff to analyse. Like, the statistician can give you 40 things, but what are your strengths on the field? Everyone has 2 or 3 strengths. Like, is it a catch? Is it a sidestep? Is it accuracy? Is it hooking? Is it blocking? Is it tackling? Is it being really, you know what I mean? Everybody has their strengths. So how can you adapt that into the game plan, what your strengths are? Because you're just given stats.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to fit them into it to get a result, and for you to get a good level of hurling out of it, like, you know. And you'll have all the different people that are involved now in it compared to our time. Like, it was like we used to meet Liam Griffin. You'd be in for 7 o'clock and you'd finish up maybe at 10:30, maybe 11, quarter to 11 after a meeting. But you went maybe 3 nights a week. Now they could be in, they'll have to do 2 morning gym sessions, and, you know, all the extra stuff that's putting pressure on them. It's really putting pressure on them, like, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And I always worry with those stats. Like, as you say, like, you can give me a stat, but you're not coaching me and telling me how I'm going to use that information you're giving me to bring it into the next game to help the team and yourself. You know, like you're saying, you know, if they're, you know, you're going to need to tell me using my strengths to get that better, what I'm going to do into the next game, rather than just giving me, this is your stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where my worry is for underage, that we coach a system rather than hurling. Like, we need to coach kids how to hurl, not how to play cornerback, not how to play on the goal, not play wing back, centre back, midfield, wing forward, corner forward, or full forward. We need to coach them how to hurl. They will find their position. They will gravitate to their position. You will know if this fella's a better defender or attacker. He's either a back or a forward, and you will know that. But now we're automatically putting them into a position, and we're coaching them to hurl that position. Coach them how to hurl until they're 12 or 14, and then we'll find positions for them. But coach hurling, not systems. Like, if you're going out under 12 matches, there's sweepers and everything. Like,
no.
Like, to me, that's terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, coach hurling. Now, and they are, and I'm not saying they're not, they are. But, like, everyone copies the top. Like, you know what I mean? The inter-county is copied by the club. The senior in the club is copied by the intermediate. The intermediate in the club is copied by the junior. The junior is copied by the minor, the juveniles, right down to the under 12s or under 10s. You know what I mean? Everybody copies what's going up ahead of them. And like, we just need to make sure that we're not losing hurling in it, like, you know. Yeah,
no, I agree 100%. And look, if you get your hurling right, Martin, you can nearly play any position on the pitch, or majority of them anyway. You know what I mean? If you sort your hurling first, the positions, as you say, will take care of yourself, or you know, take care of themselves. You know.
I remember we hurled the league one time, and Liam Dunn was injured, and they put me back centre back. Well, you're talking about a nightmare, like. And I just said to myself, try playing a Besson. Lord of mercy on Willie Sunderland, he was the manager. I'll go centre back for you. And Willie said, "Geez, you'd be grand, you'd be good under the high ball anyway." That was grand, I was able to catch the ball. But trying to come out, I nearly turned one time and took a shot me on against the opposition, like I'm so used to being a forward. But it opened my eyes, like, it just actually opened my eyes about it. No. Liam was back the next day, and someone said, "Just thank God Don is back, we won't have to put Storey back." But like, that's like, and that was me after learning hurling the whole way up, but I had got used to being a forward from the time I was, like, I played midfield up until I was, say, around 20, and then I went into the forwards. But then you focused on being a forward.
Yeah.
And just, I found it very difficult to play the match centre back. Like, I mean, and that's why we need to make sure that we coach every aspect of the game to everyone. Attack, defence, everything. Like, so you'll find your position.
Yeah, and it'll actually help you, I know at the top of it, help you play longer, because you look at Declan Hannon moving from the forwards to centre back, John Conlon the same, you know, being able to maybe move from the forwards. Like, it'd be great for the more natural hurlers just to be able to move around, you know.
Well, I always reckon, I hope Donald hear this some stage, you know, that when you come under pressure, when you're nearly FUCKED, you can go back in the backs, like, you know, anyone can play in the backs. It's only the elite go forward. We used to have some slagging about that.
Oh, so you have to stake your claim. Sure, everybody says the same, that the forwards are the real that win you the matches or whatever. The backs get the hardship.
Yeah,
I know that myself.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, the forwards get the bit of get the highlights of it, but the backs do the work. Like that's it. And I'd have no All-Ireland medal only for the six backs. Absolutely. That's a game. And the goalkeeper. We had the best.
No, we can't forget that.
We had the best goalkeeper in Ireland for, I'd say, 12 years. And
tell me that, Damien Fitzhenry was absolutely unreal. We couldn't speak more highly about Damien Fitzhenry, to be fair. Probably my favourite goalkeeper, to be fair, as well. Just there was always kind of like his saves were so good, it'll just get you out of your seat even when you were watching Martin, to be fair, and then even the penalties and the striking of the ball was just so clean as well.
Yeah, unbelievable. He was so naturally good that it probably cost him another couple of All-Stars. If he had been diving around the goal or spectacular, he'd have got them. But his timing and his anticipation was so good. He was always in the right. How many times in Damien Fitzhenry's career did you see him having to dive to save a ball? He was always there.
Very few, yeah.
Very few. He was always there. He was always in the position. His reading of it was second to none. It put a ball in your hand. I'd retired and we went up. They were hurling Dublin in the Walsh Cup, and I went up to Ferns to watch it the year after I retired. And I let a shout at him in the goal, and I was standing leaning on the bar on the pitch, and I was leaning on the bar, and I let a shout at him, and he put the ball in my hand, and I stand there, and there was a chap from Dublin standing beside me, and he goes, "Bleed, what was that all about?" And I go, I said something we used to do years ago. I shouted him messing, he was doing the warm-up, and I shouted, "Fitzy!" And I put my hand, he put the ball in my hand, and I stand him without moving. That's how accurate he was. Like, he was able to put the ball where you wanted it. Like, he was able to put it down there that you could catch it out to your side. Like, there was very few could do that, like, that you play. But like, he was the reason we stepped up a step.
Yeah, and he was correct me if I'm wrong now, but I'm nearly sure he was hurling out the field as well with the Duffrey, like, and absolutely flying it. Yeah,
I often hurled on him. He used to hurl centre back.
Did you?
Yeah. I often played on him. I used to tell him like, if you get a penalty now, I'm going to catch it. Jeez, we played him up in Ferns. Like, he nearly took the head off me with it. I was jeering him when he going to take it, so he hit it straight at me.
Oh, Joe, no.
I barely could get out of the way.
Oh, no, and I'd say, because I know myself, a thunderbolt of a strike he'd have as well.
Yeah, I remember when he was practicing the penalties now, he used to ask me to go on the goal. And I'd say to him, "Don't hit the ball at me now. Put it away from me." But every so often he'd hit a few at you. Oh, Jesus. Like, it hurt you to hit you, it hurt you, full stop.
And I was going to say, you do well to get out of the way quick enough too.
Yeah, but he was going to the corners, I was standing in the middle. So,
well, fair play to you for getting in the goal. I'd have probably said no if I were you, so fair play to you.
Sure, madness was a great thing. Like, I thought I'd stop some of them. I'd be able to jeer him then about it, No, we had a great there was a great old camaraderie with the 96 team. Like, there was a brilliant camaraderie. Like, we'll meet up now and you'll go through the preliminaries of how's the family, everybody okay, and then you get straight back to the baseline of abuse. It's unbelievable. But it literally, within 5 minutes, the level of the conversation just drops out back to slagging like that we done in the dressing room and afterwards, like, and you couldn't do it on a podcast, you know what I mean? But the crack could be still there, like, it was brilliant, like, Yeah.
But it's great. Isn't it the greatest thing though, Martin? It's the greatest way of saying, like, I'm very fond of you, or, like, you're good mates, like that. You're straight in just to slag them straight away. Like, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's absolutely, and it's amazing that it's still, like, there's a connection there that'll never be gone, like, which is lovely. So we're getting together now we're getting together for the 30 years now in September.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah.
Jeez, no, that'll be a deadly night. I hope you have your few bits to slag some of the lads or.
Well,
straight away.
we meet every Christmas. We meet every Christmas down in Ferrycarrig, and we'll have a few pints and a good bit of slag, and then we try and play golf. But there's not many of the lads play golf. We try and get a few to play, but there's only about 10 or 12 of us go for the golf. And that, you know, we just try to keep the old connection going, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I know you should definitely keep it going. It's important, sure, and lads be looking forward to that too. You know what I mean? Just to meet up, because they're obviously, you know, and people forget. Sure, you would have been training a couple of times a week and been with each other the whole time, and you know, just even when that stops, then you know it's great to keep something going where you kind of meet up and do things. You know, that's important.
Yeah, we train now. I think the day of the All-Ireland final was our 192nd time together within that calendar year.
Yeah.
So
like that's crazy.
Yeah, but no, it's not that it was crazy. The reward was winning the All-Ireland. So, like, I mean, I always said, like, I'd run backwards up Vinegar Hill if somebody told me it helped me to win a Leinster medal, like, or a county medal. If someone told me to crawl up it, I'd do it. Like when you hadn't achieved anything, we were capable of doing whatever we were asked to do to get to the next level. Like, we were just capable of doing it. We were ready. We were wanting to do it. Like, you know, so we'd no problem with heavy training or training in the morning at 7 o'clock or running the beach or whatever, running hills. We'd no bother. It wasn't an issue.
Yeah, whatever you needed to do to win. And you know what? There's nothing like losing a couple of times to get your hunger up to want to actually win something and, you know, go and do it as well, as you're saying. Martin, I wanted to just say to you as well, because I know you gave me the best player you've played with, but I know you were saying about your appreciation for backs and the hard job they have to do as well. Who would you say is the hardest marker you ever marked you? Hardest defender?
Well, there's an awful difference between hardest now and the best. I heard on some dirty ones. I wouldn't put them down as the best, but the byjays, they were dirty. That's a different thing there. Brian Whelan was probably the best hurler.
Best hurler, yeah.
Hurler. Like, Willie O'Connor was excellent. Eddie O'Connor, like, it was impossible to get the better of them. Like, no matter where you went, they were there. Like, you know, like Brian Whelan, if he had a little weakness, he wasn't the strongest person in the air. If the ball hit the ground, you didn't get it. It had it gone. So I used to have a thing with, if I don't catch it, you have it. And he'd say to me, well, if you don't catch it, I have it. So it would just be slagging, like. But I'd say he proved what a hurler he was when they moved him up in '98 out of centre back because he was a bit injured, and he got man of the match from wing forward, scoring 1-2. Like, you know, that just proved how adaptable and how good a hurler he was to me. Like. Yeah. And he got the player of the year, and he got no All-Star, if you remember that.
Oh my God! How does that? Oh, I don't know. How can you even?
Everybody thought he'd be picked in the backs, and everyone thought he'd be picked in the forwards, and he didn't get picked either. But he got hurler of the year.
Lads, how do you justify that in any way? Oh, I tell you.
I hurled against him now a good few times, and I hurled against him when we hurled Bird in the club championship, and we used to play Bird practice matches, and his ability to read the game was second to none.
Yeah,
and he always had time to strike the ball, which he could be on him, and he still had fucking time to strike the ball, and you're trying to be on him. He was always able to create that bit of space for himself. Just that was the skill that he had. Like, and he was he was one of the only modern players to make the team at the Millennium. I think he was the only modern player, was he?
I think he was the only modern player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Jeez, yeah. And you know what, Martin? It's such a, because you know a county team, I know from not playing myself and watching the TV, it always feels like you don't have a second because there's someone tracking you or someone getting to you. So when you say someone always has time, you always seems to have time in the ball, it's nearly a clear sign of how intelligent of a player they are, you know.
But that's what the great players do. They create that space. They're able to create that yard for themselves. That separates, we say, the good from the very good. That you always have that second.
Yeah, no, I know, and it's just unbelievable, because I tell you, I always tried to do it myself, but I always got hooked. So that was the that was the end of that.
But that's it. It's just the time, and it's the skill that you're putting into, and it's the anticipation and the reading of it and everything else. Like, it's about 6 things combined to create that bit of space, like, or that extra bit of space. Everyone tries to create a bit of space. The best players are able to create that extra little bit of space.
Yeah, no, definitely. And just when you mentioned space there, it's just something I remembered as well, just about space and intelligence. And I know he's a Oulart man as well. I used to remember, even when I was watching Oulart, that the likes of, Desi Maiden, for example, would go out to the sideline and just put his hand up like this. And like, the play and the ball would be over there, and he'd just have his hand up and he'd just wait, and next minute the ball would be over to him, it'd be in the hand, and he'd just take a few steps and he'd put it over the bar. I sometimes I feel like you can't, teach that kind of intelligence sometimes, just to know where to go and where to receive the ball to, do the most damage,
Yeah, I hurled in my latter years beside Desi and Stephen Doyle and Oulart, and I had a rule that if I heard Desi or Stephen calling, I always threw him the ball, because they were always in space. They were the two best to create space for themselves. Rory McCarthy was gifted at it, that to create that space on the move. Like, Desi and Rory and all them fellas were excellent at creating that bit of space, and you can't get a hook or a block on them. So then you have time to focus on the shot, like,
Yeah. No, I used to always find unbelievable, because it wouldn't even be a word said. It'd just be the hand up, and he just knows that, someone is going to get their head up, and they're just going to pick him out and, spot him. I just always thought it was unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, well, see, like there was a great era there in Oulart from 7 or 8 up to 13 or 14 or 17. There was like that. There was 2 or 3 teams had come a couple of years between them, and so there was always a supply of players coming. Like, and it was Oulart were really going through a real good phase. It was a pity we didn't break down Leinster quicker. Like, then I think we lost 7 Leinster titles before we won one. 6, 7. And I
remember that in amazement at that, Martin, because you were like so dominant in Wexford and nearly favourites going in, and I just thought nearly every year, it's going to be this year, and it'd be Mount Leinster Rangers or someone. That was
the year I was manager. We were nervous that day. I just sensed it in the warm up. We were nervous. We were after beating Kilkenny champions and Offaly champions, and we were red hot mad favourites, and whether a bit of that seeped in or whatever, but we just didn't perform well enough on the day to have won it. Like, that's as simple as, there's no excuses. Like, it's just something. It was something. I'll tell you a good one about that now. I was at a funeral the next morning of a chap from the parish here. And I was in the graveyard in the Balloch, and it was the only time I was in the graveyard that nobody stood within 20 yards of me. The next morning, on the Monday morning after Mount Leinster Rangers bet us in the Leinster final, I said to Rosalie was standing with me, and I said, "Geez, I must have the plague." Everyone was afraid to come over to talk to me.
Oh, jeez.
But it was just so funny. It was so funny. Like, literally, I was standing, and at the funeral, like, everybody be within top of each other.
Yeah.
There was nobody within 5 yards in all directions in the graveyard. Nobody within 5 yards of me, only Rosalie.
Like, I know you're raging and probably, raging with the result yourself, and you probably don't want to talk too much, but you don't have to, create a barrier where you're going to stand away from me either,
No, but it was, I suppose it was people giving you a bit of respect that they didn't want to talk to you about it because they knew how upset you were.
Yeah,
but it was so obvious. It was so obvious.
Yeah, no, jeez.
Them were the memories that, like, them are the memories that make you better too. Are the ones that you don't win, because if you learn more from what you lose than what you win. Yeah. Like, what did we not do right that day? Like, I mean, I talked to the lads following year. Like, and every one of them said, well, I didn't do this. So then that's learning. And they were all the same lads that went on and won the Leinster title. Like, so it's about learning and not getting caught up and all that stuff. Like, you know, it's
yeah. And lots of people would say, Martin, as well, that, you know, and it doesn't make sense, but, you know, people would say it, sometimes you need to lose that one to win the other one. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to, you know, learn the lessons maybe that you need to learn and go on and win the next. And I know sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I don't know. Maybe you do.
Well, I'm laughing here because we lost 94 in a replay. We lost 95. We lost 9, 10, 11 and 12. So I don't know about that losing.
How many lessons do you need to learn?
I don't know about that lesson there now. I might contradict you beyond that one.
There you go. Well, you of all people could definitely contradict me on it. But yeah.
No, it just happens. You can sense. I'd often sense it. You can sense it in a warm up. Like if things are not going well, you can sense it. Like,
yeah.
Do you know? You have to be. You have to be so well mentally tuned to perform and perform at that high level. Like, you have to be tuned in. You just have to be so focused and tuned that if you're a bit off, then the performance and the delivery is off. So it's one of them things, like, you know. Yeah.
And even if, as you say, if you're red hot favourites, you're in a Leinster final, no matter what you say, it doesn't matter where the team's from Kilkenny or from Offaly or, you know, God, it doesn't matter. They're there for a reason too. They've earned their place. They've got there. They're going to be decent too, you know?
Yeah, but like they were. I never underestimated Mount Leinster Rangers. But like, we talked about it. Like, it was just that there's times when you don't perform, and it happens. It's happened to look at Kilkenny against Galway this year.
Yeah.
Like, look at Cork in the All-Ireland final against Tipperary.
Yeah.
Going in at half-time, cruising.
Yeah.
Like, if the focus by the whole 15 that's on the field is not right, you can get destroyed within 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, very true. And actually the Cork tip one is a great example of how it can just, all come down very, very, very quickly. And Martin, sorry, just last question for you, Martin, that I'd love to hear what you think. Who would you fancy? Who do you fancy for the All-Ireland this year?
I just think Limerick has thrown back down the marker.
Yeah.
Now,
Hungary as well.
I did an out podcast last year and I picked Tip to make the semi-final. There was 4 of us on it and nobody else was near it. I just felt that Tip had been doing so well in minor and under 21 and they were after blowing up a bit the year before, and I was just thinking, like, Tip don't go away. Like, they're not one of these teams you can never write off. Yeah. Like, I think Tip could be building for the championship this year, not the league.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 can come out of Munster.
Munster, yeah.
And, like, who are you going? You're going Limerick, we say Cork and Tip. Waterford wouldn't be happy about that, or Clare.
Well, Clare have a few injuries to come back from, and I think they're kind of sneakily kind of building those back in.
Yeah, so I think Munster is very, very, very difficult. I mean, Galway would have to be favourites for Leinster. Don't ever write off Kilkenny. I think the four teams that are fairly even in Leinster are Kilkenny, Galway, Dublin and Wexford. I think on any given day, any one of them could beat each other, depending on performance. Sure, Antrim are going, well, no, so who has the, I think Limerick might have the edge at the minute, either.
Yeah. I always feel, I don't know, they've still got that core group together, and the fact they didn't win it last year, I just always feel they'll be extra hungry to come back and prove a point too.
No, well, I think he's freshened it up with the new blood, and I think that's made a huge difference.
Yeah, but they've still got some of the core lads there too.
Yeah, but I think the new fellas have put the older lads back under pressure to lift their game.
to do better. Yeah, it's a good point.
But if you go back to last year's All-Ireland, I mean, all the tactics and all the modern stuff in the world, it was 2 high balls into the square that got 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, like, there's still a possibility for a player to win a match on his own if he gets the right 3 balls in the full forward line.
Yeah.
Like, that possibility that's still there, that all the game plan in the world can't stop because the ball is hit from 90 yards back. So there's no plan in place to stop that. Do you know what I mean?
I think sometimes you're better kind of, just going with that option. Take the risk, hit the ball in, see what can happen. Get your best players around it, and you just don't know.
Well, no, because that's where you get goals is at the edge of the square. You'll always get a goal on an overlap, but you won't get too many of them. But when there's a flare up in the edge of the square, a breaking ball or anything, there's usually a bit of pandemonium, and that's where a score will come out of. But I just think Munster has gotten stronger, we say, in the last 5 years or 6 years since Limerick come in.
Yeah.
Because Munster has gotten stronger. Kilkenny hasn't had the grip on it that they've had. Even they're going for their 8th Leinster title in a row, is it? Is it 6 or 7 they have?
Yeah, it's 6 or 7, yeah. It's definitely 6. Anyway.
So it's time for a change in Leinster.
Definitely time for a change, but it's not obviously Kilkenny are still strong, but it's not the Kilkenny of old either. There's not that kind of aura of dominance either.
They're not the dominant force they were. No.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely an opening for a Galway, Wexford, or a Dublin to cause a bit of something there. Definitely.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice to freshen up too. It'd be nice to get someone, hopefully Wexford. It'd be
lovely to get to the Leinster final again, because it'd be lovely just to get back into it. It'll get the county buzzing again. It'll get everyone back at hurling again. It'll get the kids back into it, and that's the big thing, is to get the next generation and the next generation stone mad into it.
Yeah, because I know time goes by too quick, but even 2019 there, I remember against obviously it was heartbreaking today against Tip, but the crowds and the people you'd bump into and the energy around it coming back to the county, all of that is just so good. You know what I mean?
It was unbelievable. So take the open night in Wexford Park after it,
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what you need to get the 8-9-year-olds to, rather than going out to get on a bike or go out and get onto a PlayStation or something, they're going out to get the hurl debate off the wall. I mean, that's what you need to get. That is a bit of success gets that going on its own, and we need that again. We need that now, because it's 7 years since the last one.
I know. I hate even say that. When I was thinking 2019, I was thinking to myself, 2026. It's nearly gone too many years now again without, it's just too many years. Hopefully we can.
It'd be lovely to just get to it, and best of luck to the lads. Please God they will,
Yeah, no, we wish them all the best the weekend, and hopefully we can do it. Martin, thanks very much for coming on to the podcast. It's been great to chat to you all things hurling.
No bother at all. Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, and wish you all the best with the coaching and plenty more success as well. Thanks, Martin.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the Emerald Athlete podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a review, and don't forget to check out our Instagram page, the Emerald Athlete Podcast.